let's look at cleaning up the recorded UI tests, the UI test that we just made. So by the end of the video, you should be able to know how to clean up this recorded code. So here is our test that we just made. Now, if we run it again here, you'll see that as a reminder, it didn't catch that we were actually typing text into the text fields. So just going down the line here, you can kind of see what it's going to do. So it's going to hit the add button. It's going to tap on a text field, tap on the next field, and then tap on the next field. And then it's done. So let's look at this a little bit closer. So everything that you can interact with is of type XC UI element. So it says on iOS, XC UI element provides gestural interactions such as typing, pressing, swiping, pinching, and rotating. You can also add text to them, or like if it's a text field and everything. So there are many different things, ways that we can interact with it. We can check, does this element exist? Is it hittable? Are you actually able to tap on it? So type text is what we're going to use in just a second. You can type keys with modifiers, so that would be like hitting the command key, but that's like, these are macOS only. You can hover, again, macOS only, macOS only, macOS only. So tapping, so this is actually getting into something that, we've seen right here. Let me pull this over here. So tap, right, just sends a tap event to this text field. So, that would be like us tapping on the text field to activate, sort of this being the first responder and letting us actually type in the keyboard. Double tap, you can press on things. So these all allow for, tap, double tap, press, two-finger taps, tap with a number of taps and a number of touches, swiping, pinching, rotating. These are all ways that, we can essentially have our test interact with our application just like we would if it was like us actually interacting with the app. And so these are all things that in theory, a recording would pick up, but sometimes it's not perfect. And so we'll have to add, actually typing in the text manually. So we're going to use this type text method. So we need to get access to this app text field's name, and it doesn't really make sense for us to just like copy and paste this here. It's kind of repeating ourselves. So what I'm going to do is just abstract this out and say name text field equals that app text fields.name, and I'm going to say name text field.tap. So first we're going to have it become the first responder. Then we'll say name text field.type text, and we'll have this say Joe. I don't know why it was doing this twice. We don't need it to tap twice, so I'm going to clear that out here. And we're just going to say name text field.type text. We'll say red. And again, I'm going to get rid of this second tap here. And then we'll say favorite app text field.type text. We'll have this be Twitter. So let's run this now and see if we got it right. Okay. Ooh, so it broke. And it looks like I accidentally put name text field here instead of favorite color text field. So it says, this is actually great. I didn't mean to do that, but this is actually kind of a good thing. It says neither element nor any descendant has keyboard focus. So that's why we needed to tap on this in the first place, right? So let me just change this back to favorite color text field, and that should actually make it work. So it knows that, you know, this text field wouldn't be able to type in any text if it wasn't the first responder and it wasn't focused as it says here. So let's try this one more time. So it does Joe, taps on favorite color, types red, and it does it quite quickly, right? But you can see now, we know that like when it says it passed, it actually means that it passed here. And that's really all there is to, you know, cleaning up this recorded code that is sort of generated for you using the recording feature. So what I want you guys to do now is take a second to find an app other than this Classmates app, whether it's your own app, whether it's just, you know, an app that you've worked on here at Lambda School. But find an app that you want to create a test for. And it can be, you know, it doesn't have to be super simple, or sorry, super hard, but it doesn't have to be necessarily as simple as this. Just try adding a feature through the recording and have it go through and record, you know, the way that you interact with the simulator. And then run through it, and I would be honestly surprised if it got everything the first time. And even if it did, we're later going to look at how to just completely improve this recording feature, and in some cases not even use it to begin with. But for now, just go ahead and record, you know, you using the app to test a feature, whether it's creating something or deleting something or whatever it may be. And then go ahead and also clean up that code so that you're, you know, making sure that you don't like have extra taps, or you're making sure that the text actually gets, you know, inputted or whatever it is. One thing I would caution against is not testing network calls. The UI tests aren't great at testing network calls just because it's asynchronous, and it's a little bit harder to test that. So stay away from anything that has to do with a network call, though. And once you've done that, go ahead and move on to the next video. Thanks, guys.